We're back with another cheap versus expensive, but this is more focused on a particular boot, the Gucci Chelsea boots. They're very popular, and the thing is, what made them popular were the Dupes by Steve Madden. We have two other dupes that I really want to see and compare because another dupe is like a dupe for the Steve Madden. So let's jump right into it. Let's start off first with the Gucci since we're duping these boots. These right here are the Gucci leather ankle boot with belt, retailing for $1,100. Picked up size 37 Italian, and the material's 100% leather. And I haven't seen these yet, so we're opening them together. Smells like paint. I don't know why.
They paint.
It's the actual boot that smells, but this is what we look like. They're actually quite heavy. Nice platform Chelsea boots. You have this nice band around or this belt. Really cheap looking jewels on the strap. You can take it off, Velcro. Jackie made sure to tell me that you can take this off to make it look less gaudy, in my opinion. You like that snake on the bottom?
Oh, that's cool.
All right, so honestly, don't like the look of these boots. They're just not my style. I think they're way too heavy looking. They're way too thick, especially for a short frame like myself and short legs especially. I feel like they make my legs look even shorter, chubbier, stubby. I think they're good for people that are really tall, that have very slender, long legs. But these are actually quite heavy as I took them out of the box. They feel heavy when you walk and you can hear how heavy they are. They just stomp on everything and there's just no movement with the legs. I mean, there's no movement with the shoe with your foot. Continuing with the look. When you move, all of this creasing, like I barely moved my leg and you can see how much creasing this boot has. And the next part is the fit and feel. They do fit true to size 37 Italian, which is a US 7. So they fit really good and they feel good inside. But then that's where it ends. It doesn't feel good right here at the very top. Like there's no movement here, even though yes, you have stretchy parts right here, stretchy material. But because of the band, this little belt, it doesn't allow your foot and your leg when you move to have movement with the boot. And because they're so stiff, they're very uncomfortable. And the most uncomfortable part of this boot is right here. You can even see the crease right away, and these are brand new boots, and I barely wore them probably for 5-10 minutes max. And the creasing, it goes right onto the big toe. And like I said, they fit really good. They don't fit narrow, they don't fit small, they fit really comfortable. Like I can still wiggle my toes around really comfortable and move my foot inside. But because it's so narrow right here, and it's not a really soft leather, the way it bends, it goes right onto your big toe. When you walk, it constricts your toe. That makes any sense. So it's really uncomfortable when you walk. So overall, the feel is uncomfortable, but the feel of the boot is nice. Like when you touch the leather, it's really soft. Like it feels substantial, but not a comfortable, substantial boot where I feel like I could wear for many hours and be comfortable. No, this is not the case.
You know the part I like the most?
What?
The snake.
Yeah, I think the snake is really cool. It's really big. So this belt right here, it does have Velcro, which to some might feel very cheap, but I feel like this is the best option to get your foot in and out really quick. And you do have to undo the Velcro to put your foot inside because otherwise it doesn't have stretch because it's just keeping your foot contained. Looking at the quality. From far away, it looks pretty good. But once you start looking close, the upper sole, right here, you can see a ton of glue lines. And I think that's what we're smelling, honestly. Yeah, something with this boot, it just feels very rushed. It's kind of a fail, honestly. I don't know how we got this from Gucci. But I'm just saying, you're paying $1,100 without tax for a pair of boots. I want them to be pristine, immaculate. I want it to smell brand new. I want it to smell like a brand new car, you know, like fresh leather. This does not smell like fresh leather. This smells gross. Smells like bleach. Smells like bleach to me.
Yeah, ruins the experience.
Yes. But let's move on to the dupes. I'm more excited about the dupes than the actual Gucci boots. So let's move on. The first dupe is by Steve Madden, and this is their women's amulet embellished lug sole booties, retailing for $129 US, size US 7, and materials 100% vegan leather. These are also packaged individually, just doesn't have the beautiful Gucci bags.
Do they have a snake? My first question.
Don't have a snake.
Ah, it's ruined.
Wow. Just looking at these are a lot cuter because they're not as wide and round. They're a little more narrow. The look of the Steve Maddens, they're pretty much identical, like I said. If anything, they're a little bit shorter towards the top and they don't have as much presence as the Gucci. Everything else, very similar. They're not as shiny as the Gucci, which I think they look better. Not as shiny. But the one thing I do want to say, I think the Gucci ones look a little bit more flattering right here towards the top because it goes a little bit higher. But that also is the one part that kind of prevents you from walking. You might need to like really break the Gucci ones in. But the look of these, again, very similar, very identical. It has Velcro belt to go around the boot. If anything, the jewels, they look very similar, but they just look very cloudy, very murky. And they're a little bit, I would say, more rose gold than the Gucci. Gucci is a little bit more of a real, true yellow gold. And the actual gems, they're not murky. They're nice and clear and shiny. Versus these, they look very cheap and just very sad looking. But, I mean, it's $129. So now, the fit and feel, definitely true to size, a US size 7, very comfortable to put on. They're kind of tight when you just put your foot in. You kind of have to spread it a lot further than the Gucci ones. But I like the elastic is nice and stretchy, which is really nice and comfortable. But then right here, they're a little bit more narrow. So they definitely hug your foot a little bit more than the Gucci, which I think a lot of people might prefer. Next thing I want to say, these are very loud, the Steve Maddens. Sounds like geese, sounds like turkey calling, sounds like what else? Squealing. This is the Gucci. Can't really hear them. You make any little movement, you can hear me. So that's the one thing. They're very loud, quite annoying, but I think overall, they definitely fit and they feel better than the Gucci because they're not as heavy. They do have a little bit of substance to them. Like they're not a very light boot, but they're definitely lighter than the Gucci. So when you walk, they still feel heavy and very platform type-esque boot, but they're a little bit lighter and they're a little bit more comfortable to walk around besides that annoying rubber noise. Looking at the quality, I'm gonna say it's not there for $129. These look like a $50 boot or less. There's no stitching here besides right here. The stitching looks fine, but all the glue lines, the way they put this boot together, it looks very rushed, and this quality definitely is not top notch. I feel like because they're in demand, they were so popular, are popular, they sold out so many times because so many people were talking about this particular boot from Steve Madden. So I feel like the production line were just like, just get them out as soon as possible. Don't even look at it. Who cares? People are loving them. So I feel like the particular boots that I got, just by looking at the jewels, looking at the glue lines, looking at the way this boot is put together, it just feels very cheap. And it looks very cheap when you do look at it. Right here, there's a massive hole. So I feel like water gets in there and it's just gonna start falling apart really quick and very easy. So that's just, I'm gonna dock a lot of points. They look, okay, overall, like, I mean, come on, look at this. Very good dupe. This is one of the better dupes I've seen for 1-to-1. But if this is exactly what you're looking for and you don't want to pay the $1,100 because these are very trendy and they're not as comfortable, definitely go for something like this. But I'm really excited for the Madden Girls because they're the dupe for the dupes. So let's put them on. These right here retail for $79.99, US size 7, and synthetic leather, 100% synthetic leather. They look very, very similar. The only difference is the heel. It kind of comes out a lot more, and they're definitely a lot more chunkier and heavier than the Steve Maddens. These are definitely the better dupes out of the dupes. I think they have a better look to them. If you're trying to dupe the Gucci boots, because the Gucci boots, they have so much substance and they look more rugged than the Steve Madden, the Madden Girls, they're a little bit more rugged even than the Gucci boots. So these, I feel like I wouldn't have an issue going outside with these when it's muddy, when it's snowy. Like I wouldn't feel bad because they're so rugged, and I feel like they'd have pretty good traction. Just looking at from the platform side, like the profile side, the platform is pretty substantial. It's even more substantial than the Gucci. And then the one thing with the look, the heel, it kind of comes out. It was reminding us of the Stuart Weitzman boots. Like they tend to do that. That's like their style. The heel kind of comes out, slants a little bit out, so it makes your foot look a little bit longer. But I really like the look of these. I like that they're shorter. I think they look better on a shorter frame, shorter legs. I think they're a little more flattering around the ankle area. And honestly, the jewels, they look very similar to the Gucci. They don't look murky. They don't look cloudy. They look clean. They look cheap, but they look better than the Steve Maddens, in my opinion. At least this pair versus the pair that I have from Steve Madden's. So the Madden Girl definitely beats the Steve Madden, in my opinion, for the look. The fit and feel, again, very comfortable, very true to size, and because they're not as tall as the Gucci, so they're a little bit easier to slide your foot in. Again, has the same Velcro belt with the jewels, and honestly, they fit very good. They fit a little better than the Steve Maddens, and honestly, better than the Gucci, in my opinion. They feel more comfortable. They definitely feel a little bit more narrow towards the front where the boot rounds, but they feel very comfortable, and I feel like I would be able to wear these for hours. The quality, because they are $80 essentially without tax, under $100, especially for boots, I feel like glue lines are expected, and if they're not, if you don't see any glue lines, then you found a treasure. But these boots right here, the stitching is actually really good. It's nice and precise. Just looking at everything right here, even the little belt around, or the loop, whatever you want to call this, it looks really nice. It's not as substantial as the Steve Madden or the Gucci, but it does the job. And the one thing I do want to say, I don't see any holes. I don't see any gaps. Quality is much better. They're far superior than Steve Madden. So that's why I'm saying, just overall, this boot right here, I think is a really great dupe for the Gucci, and it's under $100, and you don't have to spend so much money knowing that these are more of a trendy style boot, and they are very comfortable. If anything, I would maybe go up half a size if I were to wear thicker, warmer socks for the winter, but I just have like those the no-show socks, and they're quite thin. I'm really impressed with these. The only thing I could see this heel putting off some people if you don't like that look, but I think they look pretty good. So overall, I think we got some good dupes. In my personal opinion, from the pairs that I got, I definitely recommend the Madden Girl. First of all, because they're under $100. Second of all, they're the most comfortable. Third, they look the best. Fourth, the quality's there. And fifth, they're the cutest. Did I already say that? I did. I just wanted to have 5. But I think if you're into this style boot and you if you like that platform style, the nice Chelsea black boots, and the one thing is with all of these, you can take the belt or the loop off, so you don't need to have the jewels on. Oh wait, hold up. No, you can actually you can't take these off. Just kidding. The Madden Girls, you can't take off. The Gucci ones you can, and the Steve Madden. That way you can just have a nice, simple black Chelsea boot. So if you're looking for a simple black Chelsea boot like this, Steve Madden, since you can't take off the loop belt around the Madden Girl. We can honestly see why the dupes are so trendy and why they sold out so many times, because they're literally almost the exact copy for Gucci, except the price tag is very small, very tiny. But we found even a better dupe for the dupe, the Madden Girls. It's essentially the same brand, but just a little bit less expensive for only $79.99. And I think they look cuter, honestly. I think they're the most flattering, but I'm gonna leave it here. Please let me know your thoughts on these boots. Do we like them? Do we not like them? What other boots do you guys like that you want duped? But for now, thank you for watching, spending time with us, and I'll see the next one very soon. Bye.